They told us it was simple: ramps and rollers, copper chisels and wooden sledges, thousands of workers dragging stones across the desert under the blazing Egyptian sun. That is the story we learned in school. That is the explanation that fills textbooks and museum plaques around the world. But what if that story is wrong? What if the ancient builders knew something we have forgotten? What if they possessed techniques so advanced, so elegant, so far beyond our assumptions that we cannot even recognize them when we see them? Because here is the truth. After centuries of study, after decades of excavation, after countless experiments and computer simulations, we still cannot fully explain how the pyramids were built. Not really. We have theories. We have guesses. We have educated speculation presented as settled fact. But we do not have proof. And we certainly do not have the ability to replicate what the ancients achieved. Today, we are going to unravel the mystery of the pyramids. Not just the famous ones in Egypt, but pyramids around the world. And we are going to examine the lost techniques that made these impossible structures possible. Get ready to question everything. Let us start with the basics. What exactly makes pyramid construction so difficult? The Great Pyramid of Giza contains approximately 2.3 million stone blocks. The average block weighs around 2.5 tons. But some blocks, particularly those in the king's chamber, weigh up to 80 tons. The pyramid rises to a height of 481 feet. Its base covers over 13 acres. The entire structure weighs roughly 6 million tons, and according to mainstream Egyptology, it was built in about 20 years. Let us do the math together. 20 years equals roughly 7,300 days. If you divide 2.3 million blocks by 7,300 days, you get approximately 315 blocks per day. That means quarrying, transporting, lifting, and placing a multi-ton stone block every 2 to 3 minutes. Around the clock, every single day, for 20 years straight. No breaks, no delays, no mistakes. Does that sound plausible to you? And we have not even addressed the precision yet. The base of the Great Pyramid is level to within less than 1 inch across 13 acres. The corners are almost perfect right angles, with an error of only about 3 arc minutes. The alignment to true north is more accurate than the Greenwich Observatory. This is not rough construction. This is precision engineering at a level that challenges modern capabilities. So how did they do it? The most commonly accepted theory involves ramps, long inclined surfaces that allowed workers to drag stones up to higher levels as the pyramid grew. But there are problems with every ramp theory proposed. A straight ramp reaching to the top of the pyramid would need to be over a mile long to maintain a climbable gradient. It would require more material than the pyramid itself. There is no archaeological evidence of such a massive ramp ever existing. A spiraling ramp wrapping around the pyramid presents different problems. The corners become almost impossible to navigate with heavy stones. The ramp would obscure the work surface, making precision placement extremely difficult. An internal ramp theory, proposed by French architect Jean-Pierre Houdin, suggests a spiraling passage inside the pyramid itself. This is clever and has some supporting evidence, like anomalies in thermal scans, but it still does not explain how the heaviest stones were moved. The truth is, no single theory adequately explains the entire construction process. Something is missing. Let us look at some clues that the mainstream narrative tends to overlook. In the quarries at Aswan, about 500 miles south of Giza, there lies an unfinished obelisk. It is enormous. If completed, it would have stood about 137 feet tall and weighed approximately 1,100 tons. The tool marks on this obelisk are strange. They suggest the stone was somehow separated from the bedrock in ways that do not match our assumptions about ancient technology. Even stranger, some researchers have noted that the surfaces of certain Egyptian monuments show no tool marks at all. They are completely smooth, as if the stone was molded rather than carved. This has led some investigators to propose a radical alternative theory. What if some ancient structures were not carved from stone, but cast from it? In the 1970s, a French materials scientist named Joseph Davidovits proposed that the pyramid blocks were made of a type of ancient concrete limestone aggregate mixed with the chemical bite that created a paste which could be poured into molds and then hardened. This would explain how blocks fit together so perfectly. They were cast in place, molding exactly to the block beneath them. It would explain the lack of tool marks. You do not carve concrete, you pour it. It would explain how workers could place a block every few minutes. They were not moving solid stone. They were carrying basalt materials and water. Davidovit's theory has been controversial. Some geologists say the pyramid stones show characteristics of natural limestone, not reconstituted material. Others point to evidence of fossil shells arranged in ways that suggest casting. The debate continues, but what is certain is that we have not definitively proven how these blocks were made. And Egypt is not the only place with pyramid mysteries. Travel to Mexico and Guatemala, to the ancient cities of the Maya and their predecessors. Here, you will find pyramids that present their own inexplicable challenges. The Pyramid of the Sun at Teotihuacan is the third largest pyramid in the world. It contains over 1 million cubic meters of material. It is aligned to within a fraction of a degree to specific astronomical events. But here is something rarely mentioned. Teotihuacan was not built by the Aztecs, even though they later occupied the site. When the Aztecs arrived, the city was already ancient and abandoned. They found it in ruins and had no idea who built it. The Aztecs called it Teotihuacan, which means the place where gods were born. They believed only divine beings could have constructed such a place, and the true builders. We do not know who they were. We do not know what language they spoke. We do not know what happened to them. They left behind pyramids aligned to the stars, a city laid out with mathematical precision, and absolutely no written records explaining any of it. Further south, in the jungles of Guatemala, lies the ancient Maya city of Tikal. Its pyramids rise over 200 feet above the forest canopy. They were built with limestone blocks fitted together with remarkable precision, and they were built in one of the most challenging environments imaginable: thick jungle, extreme humidity, no metal tools, no wheel, no draft animals. Yet the Maya did not just build pyramids. They built cities. They built roads through the jungle called Sakbiab, some stretching over 60 miles. They built reservoirs and water management systems that supported populations of over 100,000 people. All of this while maintaining astronomical records more accurate than those of contemporary Europe. The Maya were not primitive. They were not simple. They possessed knowledge and techniques that we are only beginning to appreciate. And then they collapsed. Their great cities were abandoned, their populations scattered, their knowledge was lost. When the Spanish arrived centuries later, the descendants of the Maya could not explain how their ancestors had built such wonders. The techniques had been forgotten within a few generations. This pattern repeats across the ancient world. Civilizations rise, achieve incredible feats, and then fall. And when they fall, their knowledge falls with them. We assume that human progress moves in a straight line, that we know more than our grandparents, who knew more than their grandparents, stretching back to cave dwellers who knew almost nothing. But the evidence suggests something different. Knowledge peaks, and then it vanishes, and then it has to be relearned from scratch. Consider what the Romans knew about concrete. They built structures that have stood for 2,000 years. Then the Roman Empire fell, and the recipe was lost. For over 1,000 years, European builders could not match what the Romans had achieved. They literally forgot how to make good concrete. What else have we forgotten? Let us talk about one of the strangest pieces of evidence in the pyramid mystery: the precision of the internal chambers. Inside the Great Pyramid, the King's Chamber is constructed of massive granite blocks. Some of these blocks weigh over 50 tons. They had to be transported 500 miles from the quarries at Aswan. Then they had to be lifted hundreds of feet into the pyramid's interior. Then they had to be fitted together with tolerances measured in fractions of an inch. The chamber itself has walls that are almost perfectly flat. The corners are almost perfect right angles. The surfaces are smooth enough to pass modern quality control standards. But here is the really strange part. The chamber shows evidence of extreme precision in places that have no practical purpose. There are granite surfaces hidden behind other stones that no one would ever see. Yet they are finished to the same exacting standard as the visible surfaces. Why would builders spend enormous effort perfecting surfaces that would be permanently hidden, unless the precision itself served a purpose we do not understand? Some researchers have proposed that the king's chamber was designed to resonate at specific frequencies, that it was a machine of some kind rather than simply a tomb. This sounds outlandish until you actually test it. The chamber does have unusual acoustic properties. Sounds reverberate in strange ways. Specific frequencies create standing waves that can be felt throughout the space. Was the pyramid a power plant? A communication device? A spiritual technology designed to alter consciousness? We genuinely do not know, and mainstream archaeology is often reluctant to even ask these questions. But the ancient Egyptians themselves left clues that we have largely ignored. In numerous temple reliefs, there are images of objects that do not fit our assumptions about ancient technology. Elongated bulbs that look remarkably like modern light bulbs. Strange devices held by priests that look like plasma tubes. Diagrams that seem to show electrical connections. Mainstream Egyptologists insist these images are symbolic or religious. They represent mythological concepts, not actual technology. But how can we be so certain? We are looking at pictures made by people we do not fully understand, in a context we cannot fully reconstruct, from a civilization that achieved things we still cannot explain. Perhaps they are showing us exactly what they had, and we simply refuse to see it. Let us be clear about something. Questioning the mainstream narrative does not mean proposing that aliens built the pyramids. That is a lazy explanation that actually insults our ancestors. The evidence suggests something far more interesting. Human beings, people exactly like us, figured out techniques and technologies that we have since lost. They did things we cannot easily replicate. They knew things we do not know. They were not primitive. They were brilliant. And somewhere along the way, we forgot just how brilliant they were. The lost techniques of ancient builders were not magic. They were knowledge. Knowledge that was carefully developed over generations. Knowledge that required training and practice and precision. And knowledge that died when the civilizations that held it collapsed. We see glimpses of this lost knowledge in the structures themselves. We see it in the impossible precision. We see it in the astronomical alignments. We see it in the materials and methods that we still struggle to understand. The pyramids are not just tombs or temples. They are textbooks, lessons in stone left by teachers who knew we would eventually find them. They are asking us a question that spans millennia. Can you figure out what we knew? Every generation of researchers brings new tools and new perspectives. We can now scan inside the pyramids without moving a single stone. We can analyze materials at the molecular level. We can model construction methods with supercomputers. And with each new discovery, we realize how much we still do not understand. The Great Pyramid has a newly discovered void above the Grand Gallery. What is inside it? We do not know yet. There may be hidden chambers in other pyramids that have never been detected. What might they contain? We can only imagine. The techniques that built these wonders are encoded in the structures themselves, waiting for someone clever enough to decode them. This is the real treasure of the pyramids. Not gold or jewelry or mummies, but knowledge. Knowledge that could transform our understanding of what humans are capable of achieving. Our ancestors were trying to tell us something. They went to extraordinary lengths to create messages that would last forever. Messages carved in the hardest stone, aligned to the eternal stars, built to survive every disaster. They wanted us to remember. They wanted us to learn. They wanted us to understand that human potential is far greater than we realize. The pyramids are not mysteries to be solved and forgotten. They are challenges issued across time. Challenges to match the achievements of the past. Challenges to rediscover what has been lost. And maybe, just maybe, challenges to build something even greater. The lost techniques are out there, hidden in plain sight, waiting for eyes willing to truly see. Are you ready to look? If this journey through ancient mysteries opened your mind, if you want to explore the lost knowledge of our ancestors, subscribe and turn on notifications right now. We dig deep into hidden history every single week. The truths that textbooks ignore. The evidence that challenges everything. Because the past is not a closed book. It is an open door, and we are just beginning to walk through it. See you in the next one.